Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Quixote and Lewis. Let's mark out.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Welcome to another episode of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, Quixote. We are back, episode 62. Let's say what's up to the one and only administrator, Lewis. Lewis, you're back.
Lewis, the administrator, is back. I am back in full effect.
You're back, bro.
I know, man. I think the last time that we recorded, Streamin' Joe wasn't officially a third. He wasn't the third man in the booth yet.
He wasn't the third man in the booth yet, man.
Yeah,
damn.
But life has just been lifing.
Life's been lifing, man. Listen, Lewis,
it's been lifing.
It's been a while, bro. It's been a while. We at episode 62. We are coming up on AEW All In weekend. Big weekend for the company. Big weekend for wrestling, I must say, because this is a big show. This is a big show for AEW. But lots of things have happened since we last talked in wrestling, my brother. Today, big news. You sent me, the administrator. You sent me Ricochet, which is not a big surprise. Ricochet has signed a multi-year deal with AEW. I'm kind of liking it. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna see what AEW does booking wise. But your boy Ricochet is in AEW. I wonder if he changes his name. I guess he changes his name. I wonder what he'll go by. I wonder what the vibe is going to be. I wonder how they're going to package him. I'm just really curious. And the rumors are that he may be in London as we speak for this weekend's All In. And people are saying, I read the article. One of the questions in the article you sent me was, where does he show up on the card? Where does he show up? That's the big one. Personally, I don't know. I couldn't even take a guess on where Ricochet possibly shows up. But all I know is that it's lit now, man. I'm kind of liking this. I'm digging. I am so curious how Ricochet takes this opportunity and makes it his own in a whole new environment. What do you think, man?
I think it's a good move. It was the only logical move for someone as talented as Ricochet. He may be lacking in the mic department, and because he can't cut a promo to save his life.
Nah, man.
However, he is insanely athletic. I've said that numerous times. He's got history with Will Ospreay, so they might run something like that back. Now that Ricochet has raised his stock, he's raised his profile. He's had tremendous success in NXT, not so much on the main roster, but he's been on WrestleMania, on SummerSlam. He's been on national television. So everyone knows who Ricochet is. I don't even feel that confident that they're going to do a name change. He might just stay as Ricochet.
Does he own that? I thought that might have been a WWE owned them. You know, when you get into WWE, they own everything. They own you, bro. They own your shoes, your socks, your clothes. They own everything. So I was just wondering.
When they signed him, he was already Ricochet. Because Ricochet was his name on the Indies. When he was doing the whole Prince Puma gimmick in Lucha Underground, he was Ricochet. Okay. So I think that if they were smart, they would just keep the name.
Keep the name.
Why tamper with it if he's able to? Now, I'm predicting 100% that he's going to show up in London.
You're predicting London.
Yeah. He may not do a run-in per se, but he'll appear on camera in some way, shape, or form. Because why not, right?
Yeah, why not, man?
It's a good move. It was either going to be AEW or it was going to be TNA, and he's going to put on some banger matches. So we'll have to wait and see where he goes character-wise.
Okay.
We know that he can work. We know that he can put 5-star matches, which is why AEW is the perfect company. It's the perfect promotion for him because AEW is all about banger, 5-star classic, blah, 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 blah. But where does he take this character-wise?
Right.
So
Now let me
it's
ask you something.
exciting. It's a fresh face. It's a
Now,
fresh
Lewis, let me ask you
opportunity.
something. Do you have confidence in AEW's booking that Ricochet is going to be showing a little more respect? Like Ospreay was saying, WWE dropped the ball in the booking end. Do you have some? Do you have some faith that AEW is going to come through and book your boy right? What do you think?
I'm 50-50.
50-50.
Because AEW does not have the best track record for pushing the talent that they acquire.
Yeah.
Or at least pushing the talent to the extent of what the fans expect. So for instance, I know Adam Cole has been hindered by injuries, but Adam Cole should have been a much bigger star in AEW than he has been. There's only a few talents that jumped ship to AEW that actually made it, such as Bryan Danielson, John Moxley. Those are the examples off the top of my head that I'm thinking of, that they went to AEW and they became bona fide household name stars for that company. But a lot of other people like Andrade, I mean, I could go on and on. But
Rusev.
Oh yeah, he's one of the primary examples.
Can you believe your boy's still under contract right now? Like, can you believe?
That's hard to believe. I forgot that Miro was even employed.
He hasn't been on television in probably over a year, and he's still collecting a paycheck, possibly. Like, is that?
It's weird. It's weird.
It's mind-boggling.
He had such a promising start in AEW, and it fizzled out completely.
Out.
Yeah. But to go back to your question, I'm 50-50 on it. We'll just have to wait and see. But they need to develop some character, some serious character.
Big time
for him.
Big time. And I just wonder who's going to work on his promo with him, man, because Ricochet's not a good promo. So for him to really cut across that AEW crowd, those hardcore, unforgiving AEW, just mad crowd, your boy's going to have to come correct with a promo. Like, he's got to come correct with a promo. The in-ring speaks for itself, but if he can't relate to a crowd or be cool or look like a star, he ain't gonna be believable. So the jury's out. We'll see what happens with Ricochet.
Fuck it, he could just go back to being Prince Puma.
I'll take it. I'll take Prince Puma. I'll take that too. But we'll see what happens with your boy Ricochet, man. But Lewis, man, I did tell you this past weekend on Friday, I checked out the Fanatics Fest in New York City, and I must say, man, it was a vibe. I caught a little first take. I caught Tom Brady, my guy, the GOAT. Got to see him speak and listen to him speak. But and then they had WWE, UFC, all that stuff there. But I didn't go on the day all the wrestlers were there. God bless my wife for getting tickets. She didn't do her research. That's between you and I. She didn't look at the days to see when the wrestlers were going to be there, and I wasn't there. But it was still cool. They got the setup. They got everything going. They got all the championship belts out. It was really, really, really cool. Fanatics Fest. I'm definitely going to check it out next year it'd be in New York City. Checking out on the day the wrestlers are there. But it looked like Saturday, which everybody was Triple H, everybody was at Miz, everybody. Saturday was wild from what I heard. It was really, really, really good. They had recordings of the Masked Man or podcast. They had a bunch of stuff going on. Big E was there doing like a Q&A. It looked really, really, really cool. So shout out to Fanatics Fest and all them over there for putting on a damn good like sports Comic-Con for the sports nerd. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's what it came across as. Like, you hit that's like the perfect analogy. It was a sports Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So it didn't matter if you were into pro wrestling, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball. It was something for anyone who was into sports, and I'm sure they had merchandise galore.
Yeah, the merch was cool. I was expecting a little more. Like WWE had like inside the general merch store each thing
Nah.
had their own section: WWE, NFL, NHL, MLS, all that stuff, right? And WWE shirts were trash. I'm not gonna lie, they were trash.
Oh, really?
They had some generic Cody Rhodes joint. They had some CM Punk shirt. I don't even know if it's the new one. It looks like the new one, or if it was just made for this event. They had a Yeet shirt, the Yeet glasses.
Yeah. Also, it was just generic stuff.
It was a generic shit. I was like, what is this guy?
Basically, at WrestleMania Access or WWE World, you would find better stuff.
Oh, it's no comparison. Yeah.
Okay.
World 100%. Yeah. It was trash. I was very disappointed. That was one of the that was what was going to make my Friday, was going into that store and looking to find something that nobody possibly had, or wasn't out yet, or was just came out. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, yo, this is whack. This is terrible. This is terrible. So the merch guy gets stepped up a little bit. I'm going to give them a pass. It's the first year. I'm going to give you the pass on the merch. But the experience overall, the Q&As, the meet and greets, the sports stars kind of just walking around, just kind of, they had security and stuff, but they were easily accessible. You could yell, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And they'll pose for a little selfie and stuff like that, right?
Nice.
Jay-Z was there. He had the 40/40 club in there for all us poor people looking up at all the rich people in the bar. It was embarrassing. They were like caged animals, and we're all just looking at them, like just smiling and waving and all that stuff. Right. It was wild.
Like feed me.
Yeah. You see them eating chicken wings and drinking all the expensive champagne and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Fanatics Fest was cool, man. I definitely recommend it for anybody who's a sports fan. If you're a wrestling fan, check the dates. All the wrestlers will be on a specific date. But that's Fanatics Fest, man. Yeah, that was Fanatics Fest. But Lewis, we got to get into to All In. We got to talk a little bit about All In, the AEW's biggest show of the year, taking place in Wembley Stadium for the second year in a row. About 46,000 plus tickets sold.
Yeah,
let's get into it. So, Lewis, man, on AEW Dynamite, we got some. To me, they were in Cardiff, and it was a pretty damn good show.
It was.
Some decent promos from Brian Danielson, Swerve, the MJF and Ospreay was good. Monet and Baker was decent. We got some good stuff, man. Any takeaways from Dynamite that possibly now have gotten you excited about certain matches come All In?
Well, those three marquee matches, MJF versus Ospreay, Britt Baker versus Mercedes, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve, they all did their job with the final hard sell in each of those segments. So I'm excited for all three of those matches. Not that I wasn't before, but it got me even more excited because they ramped up the intensity in those segments. Yeah. So those for me are going to be the ones those are the main matches to look out for. I think each of those can steal the show, but I really think that Swerve versus Danielson and MJF versus Ospreay can be instant classics without.
Now, Lewis, who's stealing the show though? Match of the night.
Oof. I might just say MJF versus Will Ospreay, and I'm saying that because earlier this summer they put on a phenomenal 60-minute classic.
Yep.
So we've already gotten a taste of what they can do. And now they're going to do it in front of 40, 50,000 people at Wembley Stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the show stealer right there.
That's the show stealer. I agree with you.
Swerve and Danielson have their work cut out for them, actually.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because when MJF and when MJF and Ospreay, when they tear that stadium apart and the crowd just eats it up, they're going to be looking at themselves in the back like, we're going to have to close this show on like
you're right,
a seriously high note,
yeah,
and outdo them to the point where they're talking about us for the rest of the year.
So you're thinking match placement wise, MJF and Ospreay second to last match.
Yes.
Okay.
Not even second to last. It could even be third to last. It could even be middle of the show.
Would you open up the show with that?
No. I would not open up with that. Will Ospreay and MJF is too big of a match. That's got to be more towards the end. I mean, if they're going to put it as the second to last match, then that's fine too. But you don't want to risk burning out the audience either.
That's true. Now, just a reminder to anybody listening before Sunday, this is in England. So there's a time difference. So the time where we here in the States or specifically on the East side, on the East Coast, will see this pay-per-view. It starts at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. start time for this pay-per-view, All In. I'm looking at it. The 0 hour, though. 0 hour, the pre-show will begin at 11 a.m.
So that would be my 10 a.m.
Yeah, that'll be your 10 a.m.
So for all you folks who live in a central region like myself, the pay-per-view event itself starts at noon. And had Quixote not brought that to my attention, I would have been looking for a stream at 7 p.m. Central Time like a dumbass. I would have just been seeing black. Like, what the fuck? What's going on?
I wonder how long
technical difficulties.
I wonder how long it would have taken you to then check, maybe just Google into the internet and be like, "Yo, is this even on right now?" Like, I wonder how long it probably would have taken you.
The funny thing is, it wouldn't have taken me that long because my phone would have been blowing up by 1:30, 2 o'clock. Like, oh, such and such defeats this person. Such and such wins the title. And I would have said, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a very helpful reminder that All In is not in the States. So you have to plan accordingly, like the way you would for a WWE PLE, such as Bash in Berlin or something.
Yes, sir. Now, just to give you a little bit about 0 hour, that portion will be a mixed tag team match. Chris Statlander teams with Stokely Hathaway to take on Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii.
Okay.
So should be good. You know, I'm digging the new Statlander. Statlander's been looking pretty good. I gotta give it to her.
She's ramped up the sex appeal because
she's ramped it up. She's ramped it up. I'm digging it. Stokely is Stokely. One person I listened to somebody recently, and someone mentioned that Stokely at times seems like he's out to push himself. It seems like sometimes the things he says is to get himself over, rather than, if you are the manager, getting your act over, your athlete over, right? And I could kind of see what they mean. Sometimes his jokes are like, they are self-fulfilling. In when I'm listening, I'm like, okay, so you definitely had time to think about and write that. But either way, I'm very intrigued. I'm intrigued by that's a 0 hour. I might actually tune into to simply see that match because I'm interested in what happens with Stokely Hathaway in the ring. And then Willow, of course, she's doing her thing, and Tomohiro Ishii is Tomohiro Ishii. I mean, there's nothing.
Oh yeah, he's always great.
Nothing much to say about that. But again, guys, in the States, 1 p.m. start time. Now, taking away that match, which will be on the 0 hour, we got 9 solid matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9 matches, my brother. 9 matches, all pretty solid. Swerve and Danielson, Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, MJF and Will Ospreay, Tony Storm and Mariah May.
That's gonna be good too.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. The Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed. The Casino Gauntlet match. Winner gets a championship match. Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. Chris Jericho and Hook. The Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus the House of Black versus another team to be determined. They haven't even announced the other team, which I can't even think who that would be. But those are your matches for All In, man. So let's pick a couple, like the top 3, which I think would be the obvious.
Yeah,
But
the ones that we just mentioned.
I guess the ones that really matter, right? But like, Lewis, let me throw out. I'm just going to pick one randomly. Let's go Mercedes Moné, Britt Baker.
Okay.
Who's going over? How are we? What's happening here, man? I think Mercedes gets over, wins this match. That's just me with a possible run in by your girl. Oh my God, what's her name? I just went blank.
Camille.
No, not her. The one from England, or the one that is English. She's been out for a minute. She's been injured. Oh man, she's been injured for a minute.
Oh, Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
I forgot about her.
The rumors are out crazy that this is
Jamie's
been out about her. Damn near 2 years. So I'm gonna say
she's been out for a minute.
I'm gonna say she's back on Sunday. That's my prediction. But I think Mercedes goes over, man. I think it's a good match. Mercedes is going to have to carry this match because Britt is just not good. She's just not. I'm sorry. She's just not good. She's not good in the ring physically. She's not great on the mic. She has a great look. The fans love her, but your girl she exudes meh to me. She's meh. She's meh.
I know, K Weezy, you have never been a big Britt Baker fan.
Nah, man.
I get it.
Nah. But what do you think,
I think she's fine on the mic. I don't think it's anything astounding, but I think when she cuts a promo, it serves its purpose. You know, I think she can cut a promo. I mean, I've seen far worse. Now, in ring wise, it's meh. You know what I mean? It's just meh. When she wrestles, it does come across very choreographed, very like timed and calculated versus organic, and it doesn't flow as naturally as Mercedes.
Yeah.
Now, even with that said, I still think that they're going to put on a really good match. Who goes over? I'm with you, Quixote. I really think Mercedes retains here. If you had asked me a month ago, I would have said, all right, Britt Baker's back and they'll give her the title. I mean, it's the perfect way for Britt Baker to reclaim her throne at the top of the women's division in the company. But after that great segment this past Wednesday between Mercedes and Britt Baker, I gotta say, for me personally, I wasn't overly sold on the idea of Britt Baker beating Mercedes.
Right.
I feel like Mercedes is now just really getting hot with her TBS title reign. So why not just keep it with her, especially now that she has Camille as her manager?
Oh yeah.
I would prefer Mercedes to retain.
And if you're really thinking about it big time, right? Like you just paid Mercedes. She's the highest paid female or woman wrestler. I don't know if all of wrestling or is WWE or in AEW for sure. In AEW, she's your biggest star. She has to win on your biggest stage the first year she's there.
Right.
It's just logical, right? Like if you're just thinking booking wise, right? Britt will get this. She'll get another shot. We'll run it back for Britt, but Britt don't need this win. Britt won last year on that stage, I believe. I think she faced. Who did Britt? I forgot who Britt faced, but she did win, and she had her moment. So this is Mercedes. I think this is easy right here. So yeah, I'm thinking Mercedes goes over. I think Hayter somehow is in the mix. Hayter, Camille have maybe a bump heads kind of thing. I don't know, but we'll see. With that one, I'm thinking that dude, the Tony Storm and Mariah May. I think Mariah May goes over here, man. But here's the problem.
That's a tough one.
Now, here's what I'm having an issue with, Lou, and let me know what you think. I've been feeling lately Mariah May has regressed slightly in the intrigue, entertainment factor section of this. Before she became the main person, before she became the challenger, she was in the background for Tony Storm, and she had what seemed to be more charisma, you almost looked at her first, then you looked at Tony when they came out, because she just kind of did. She exuded this sex appeal, this charisma, this attitude. I feel now that what they're going for is slightly. I need Mariah to be a little more. Forget the facial. I need to hear her more. Maybe that's what it is, right? And her last couple of promos were like, okay, they were just decent, but I need to hear her more. I need to get more personality. I just feel like there's something slightly missing, but I'm still intrigued. I'm still interested, and I still think she goes over. But yeah, I don't know, Lewis. Do you know what I mean? Or am I tripping? Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's like a one notch is off with Mariah May.
Nah, I don't think you're bugging at all. I feel sort of similar.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm back and forth with the Mariah May heel turn. Like, it was really well done. Like, the whole thing with the shoe and beating the shit out of her on stage, that was really well done. But I think they could have waited a little longer to pull the trigger on that.
Right.
Because it just suddenly came out of the blue, which was, for all intents and purposes, it was supposed to be shock, right? It was supposed to come out of nowhere. Supposed to be a surprise heel turn. Like, you couldn't really see it coming. They were planting the seeds in a subtle way, but maybe they could have held off another month. I don't know. But there is something missing with Mariah May's character.
Right.
So that's why I kind of lean towards Toni Storm retaining. But I think Toni Storm drops the title, though.
Now,
part of me is leaning towards her retaining, but I think in the grander scheme of things, Mariah May walks out with the belt.
Now, the things they've been doing weekly with them have been interesting, like Tony delivering a picture that says she will die or something like that. It was just, it's been very entertaining. And Tony she's like Heath Ledgered into this.
Yes, I was gonna comment on that. I'm really loving the different variations that she's putting on her character now.
She is
it's like she's all in with the psychotic version of the Hollywood, the classical Hollywood female figure.
Like she's lost her mind, kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it.
It's crazy.
I'm hold on. She is female wrestler of the year for 2024. Just got to put it out there. Yes, but continue.
Administrator's hot take. That's a hot take.
Yeah. Female wrestler of the year.
So then, does she drop? Why when you let her win on the biggest stage? She kind of deserves it.
You said she's channeling her Heath Ledger, if you will. So she's channeling that. She's just going to become even more demented when she's chasing the title. That's true.
Maybe the chase might be even more. Yeah, maybe the chase might even be better. But we shall see, man. And remember, guys, join us. We're going to do an All In Fallout show, because I know some stuff is going to go down on this pay-per-view. So let's get to the two big matches, right? All the other stuff, we'll talk about that when it happens. But MJF and Will Ospreay for the American Championship. And I'm predicting another banger. I don't even know what's left to do. It's definitely not going to be an hour. It'll be shorter. They don't need another hour, obviously. They already proved that. But I'm thinking Ospreay, man. I'm thinking Ospreay. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm digging the American Championship. I like the way it looks. I like the sound of it. It makes sense. I almost don't want MJF to lose it because I like the champion because I like the championship. But I think Ospreay goes over. I think this is going to be a possible, looking at the card, this may be match of the night. 100%. What's your thoughts, Lewis?
It could potentially be match of the year, Ooh. But I, like you, I said to myself the very same thing last night. I said, man, MJF is doing so good. See, like, his work is so good right now with the American Championship, coming out with the American flag, suit. Yeah, like, he's just all in with this gimmick. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. But Yes, Ospreay is going to get his moment in his home country. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Because he's never had a big moment in front of a crowd of that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a shame, you know. And besides, he's got to get his win back because MJF got the win earlier this summer. Mm-hmm. So I expect nothing less than an instant classic. But yeah, Will Ospreay definitely goes over.
Lewis, is this becoming more predictable than we think? This card, like, is it very like if you looked at it on paper, like I got it right in front of me. I'm looking at it. I can almost predict 50% of these matches. Yeah. Like the four ways with the trios matches and the three-way with the tag team titles, not so much. But the singles, you can almost kind of smell what's happening here, right? And that was another big thing with AEW was like, yo, come on, man. You kind of need to like book this in a way where it's not so predictable. But again, what will win over is the entertainment factor and the match quality of these matches. Like that's what's going to make us fans forget about like, yo, I kind of saw it coming, but damn, that match was a banger. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they'll pick up the pieces where it matters for a lot of people, which is the match quality, entertainment, what you got out of it, and so on. Yeah. But what are we going to get out of this Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson for the AE? There's for the title, dude. There is so much going on here. You have the career. Technically, Bryan Danielson is not under contract right now. Yeah. Then you got Swerve, whose title reign has definitely gotten better as time has gone by, and he's gotten better and believable as the guy. And so I'm leaning Swerve because I want Swerve to get a big win. This win would solidify Swerve as the dominant champion. This is your guy. This is who we're running with for another few months. It's Swerve. But Danielson's never won it in AEW. And what a moment to end your pay-per-view with Danielson raising up the championship, crying in the middle of the ring, Brie by his side, his two kids, and you cut to black. Like, I mean, like I'm very, very, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I don't know how they're doing this. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. But I don't know how you pay this. I don't know what happens, man. What's your thoughts?
I love Bryan Danielson. He has been one of my favorite wrestlers of the 21st century. I would love for him to finally get a big moment like this, winning the World Heavyweight Championship in another promotion, but on a grand stage, because you know he did it at WrestleMania. Yeah. So add another one to it. And I think that would be such a tremendous send-off for arguably the best wrestler in the world. Now, as much as I love that idea, I do feel that Swerve needs to retain.
Yeah, man.
Because like you said, he's gotten better gradually throughout this championship run. Now he's finally at the point where we can take him serious. Like he's the top dog. If he retain, let's put it this way. As a fan, if he retains, I'm not gonna be mad at it. If Bryan Danielson wins the title, I'll be ecstatic as well for him. Who I think goes over, I'm 50-50. I really can't call that one.
You can't call it.
I cannot call it for shit because you can still have Bryan Danielson have a great send-off even if he loses the title. I mean, if he loses the match. Because he'll lose, but it'll be like an epic fashion. They'll put on like this 35-minute 5-star match of the year candidate, let's just say. And you know, they shake hands and embrace or whatever, and Swerve acknowledges, like, you know, you're the man. Even though I'm walking with as the champion, you're the man.
Yeah.
And then you just leave Danielson in the ring, like, to just soak it all in, get that ovation from the 40,000+ fans in attendance. maybe bring his kids in the ring, and that'll essentially be a really good send off as well. But it would be that much better if he can do it with the gold. So I'm torn. I'm really torn on who retains here.
Lewis, I mentioned this to you earlier. I said Swerve to me has to go over on the biggest stage of your company. He has to. He's the world champion. He's the first black champion. He's been killing it. The fans love him. The music is catchy. Prince Nana is over. Everything is working. Everything is working. Yeah. He's got to get that win on the biggest stage. You can't let him drop this title, man. You just can't. So I'm thinking they lean towards what you just booked, Lewis. Bryan Danielson picks your boy up, or they pick each other up, give each other little pats on the face, a hug, one of those things. You're the man now. You got this, or just a nod.
Yeah.
Swerve leaves because he got his win. He got his big moment, but this is Danielson's moment right now. Danielson brings the family in, cries, waves, kiss goodbye, exit stage left. There you go. You could have two. You have two scenarios where you can have a feel good moment. You can have the feel good moment with him holding the gold, or you can have a feel good moment of him embracing Swerve, and he gets his moment in that ring without Swerve, but with his family, and then people from the back come out, hug him up. Classic booking of mega baby face leaving the company or retiring or whatnot. Leave the boots in the ring. You could do something. I don't know, but you got two scenarios you could work with. I'm thinking Swerve goes over, man. I'm thinking Swerve. You can't. Swerve is the man right now, Lewis. Swerve is the man, it's right now where I'm digging Swerve more than I ever have at this moment, because he is killing it. His promo with JR was excellent. His stuff that he said last night was good. A little long, but good, still good.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was just, I don't know. I feel that Swerve thinks he's the best, and I'm feeling his confidence, and I'm loving every part of it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Swerve needs to go over on this. That's my opinion.
So like I said, I wouldn't be mad if Swerve retained, but I'm secretly rooting for Danielson. So when I'm watching the match, I'm really gonna be like itching for Danielson to get that 3 count or get the submission.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a testament to how good each of them are and how good the buildup has been. Where you can get a fan like myself to say, I'll be satisfied with the outcome one way or another.
Yeah,
and it's very rare that happens in wrestling. Well, from my perspective, and from my experiences being a fan, there's very few times where I go into a match or a pay-per-view main event and I say, I wouldn't mind if either one walked out as the victor.
I think, man,
it doesn't happen often when you think
doesn't happen often, man. And this is one of those moments where, again, I don't mind either one. But I'm a Swerve guy right now, man. I'm swerving, Lewis. I'm swerving left and right. I'm swerving. I'm doing it.
Prince Nana.
Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm into it now, Lewis. I'm in too deep. I got to see my boy Swerve pick up that major win at All In. All In, I think, for all intents and purposes, 9 matches, solid number. All heavy hitters. Chris Jericho and Hook is going to be an interesting, fun match. Jack Perry and Darby Allin is going to be a fun match. There's some interesting stuff here. The Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed for the tag team titles. That's going to be fun.
That should be good as well.
The Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus the House of Black versus another team for the AEW trios match. That's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a very entertaining pay-per-view. I think we're going to get a couple of surprises, a couple of returns, possibly. I want to see how they pack that bad boy up, man. I want to see how the stage looks. I want to see the vibe again. I want to see this is AEW's second time around. I'm going to see what they do. Now, next year, though, That's another story, Lewis. All In coming to good old Texas, my brother. Texas in July. I think July 12th. It's early.
It's a lot earlier. Saturday, July 12th, 2025. Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Field.
That could be an early birthday present for myself, my brother, or a late birthday present for myself. What are you thinking about the All In Texas? Are we going to stampede our way into that, my brother? We're going to do that, man? I feel like
we could very well. If the cards are there, then I'm gonna try and make the effort to attend.
That's a big
because
one.
Why not? You know what I mean?
It's in your state, man. I gotta come to you.
And just to be clear, everybody, I'm in Houston. And Arlington is like 4+ hours away. So it's not exactly like
nothing's
driving
close.
distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can drive there, but it's not like I can get up one morning and say, "Hey, let me go catch a Texas Rangers game."
Yeah. That's for sure. But
yeah, I'm gonna try to make that work because that's gonna be the equivalent of AEW SummerSlam.
Exactly. Which
big
is gonna be
venue
very interesting
in the States, and so.
But what's interesting, Lewis, is that they're gonna go back to London in 2026.
Yeah, I find that odd.
So I guess they want Wembley to be their residence for this pay-per-view All In, which sucks for us in the States because if you're doing your WrestleMania every year in London, I mean, the common folk can't get to London every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in the States, we can make some plans. We might got a cousin that maybe live in the state that we could be like, yo, you can I sleep on your couch for a couple? Like, you might have a hookup, but I ain't got no hookup in London. I mean, that's a little different. That's a little different. I got to spend $2,000 to get the flight. So, AEW, listen, good for them. Apparently the rumor is also that they got there is a standing offer by Warner Brothers Discovery. Apparently I guess a few $100 million better than what they got the first time. Because if you're Warner Brothers Discovery, your products and what you have is going down the toilet as we speak. And you need a win. You lost the NBA.
Yeah, and basketball season is around the corner.
It's literally around the corner. You've cut costs with movies. You've made bad decisions with franchises. Warner Brothers Discovery needs a win, and AEW is your best option. So you need to pay, and I don't blame AEW. But like, yo, you need to give me I need a little more money. I need some more incentives. But apparently, all the PLEs, pay-per-views, on Max, which is a good look.
Yeah. Tony Khan has been wearing. It's very intentional that he's been wearing that Max hat.
Yes,
during press appearances and stuff. That he's not doing that just by coincidence.
No, it's not because it fits.
I expect some right. Yeah. I expect some news to come out pretty soon that there's going to be some sort of streaming deal on Max.
Yeah,
and it's 100%. About damn time. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, and plus, dude, people are tired of paying for PLEs or pay-per-views on pay-per-view like Triller or Bleacher. I don't want to do that. Just put it on the damn streaming channel, please.
Man.
Like please, just put it on the streaming channel. So, listen, man, some big things for AEW, man. We here on the Mark Wrestling. We are gonna hit you back with what happens after All In, what goes down at All In. Your marquee matches, who wins, who loses, stories coming out of them. We're going to talk about it all when that happens, man. But Lewis, anything else we need to get to? You have an administrator's report? Nothing? Are we good?
Man, the administrator's report is irrelevant because we got All In. So
we got All In.
We'll circle back with the administrator's report for next week when we discuss the fallout of All In.
Yes, which will be which hopefully will be some news coming out of that, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy Quixote. Check us out on all our social media: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
You've been listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at On To Mark Wrestling and email us at ontomarkpodcast@gmail.com.